Hi, and welcome to the latest episode here of Freeworld Trading. We hope you're having a great week wherever you are. We're certainly having a great week up here in Edinburgh, and the weather's clearing up a bit. So we're going to start off by talking a little bit about what's happened in the post-referendum situation regarding Greece. So basically, Tsipras has made a new deal with IMF for a new loan, hasn't he?
Well, it's not the IMF he's talking to the Troika.
Troika, sorry,
which is the ECB, the IMF, and the Emergency Fund. Well, we've been here before, really. He's now got to go to his parliament and try and get them to agree to a more punitive deal than they've just said no to. So I don't really see how there is a deal. There's something on the table which can then be taken. If the Greek government were to accept it, then it would then have to go in various forms to, I guess, all the national governments, particularly the ones who are actually lending this money.
Yeah, sure.
So, and that's the Germans, and the Germans have, the German popular press is very much against any kind of debt reduction. So there's no debt reduction in this proposal. We're not actually in a very different position from where we were before the previous Sunday's final vote in Greece. It's basically a battle of power, and the battle of power hinges around when can they open the banks. They can't open the banks until they have some funding. They're gradually that's two payments that they've missed now to the IMF. So I didn't see what kind of solution this is. So it's probably best just to forget about that and have a quick look at how the euro has been performing recently.
So how has the euro been performing recently, despite all of this?
Well, it's been hovering around 110, dropping as low as about 1.0940. That was the lowest it got to. These are all higher levels than we had about 3 months ago. So I think the 110 still has an agreement built into it. Conversely, that would mean that if it doesn't go through either the Greek Parliament or subsequently the French and the German, in particular, governments, then I think we could see 105 and further down. Yeah,
sure. And just on that note, we just had a market report there from one of our traders, Adam Johnston, looking at a little bit about what's happening. How is what's happening in the euro at the moment, going to affect the markets in particular? I mean, what are the main effects you'll see? I mean, it's all a chain process, isn't it? What's happening with Greece is affecting the euro, which in turn is affecting the markets, which in turn is affecting us.
Well, if you take almonds, for instance, almonds went up 30 cents, so about 7.5% on the back of the objective report and the last lot of shipment figures. Well, there's another 2.5% in there straight for the currency, the weakness in the euro that resulted. I think if the euro is strong, we see more inquiries for almonds in particular. I think this all makes for a large amount of uncertainty, and we're not seeing the big contracts being made. Instead of buying 12 months worth of gear, they're buying 3 months worth of gear because it's an awful lot of money to pay, and they don't really know how the markets are going to stand these prices. So we're back into a sort of shrinking demand scenario.
But not just shrinking demand, it's also changing the way people are buying products.
Well,
it's not just what they're buying, it's not the quantity, it's also the way the mentality of the purchaser.
Yeah, they're buying
the mentality of the supplier.
They're having to buy small amounts because they are having to keep in stock.
Just this uncertainty, like I'm quite interested in this word uncertainty, because it's been going on, it's almost a running theme in our market reports now, the uncertainty, and for inevitable reasons given what's happening in Europe at the moment, and all sorts of other geopolitical reasons. This is obviously, as we're seeing, changing patterns of consumer behavior. This is always changing the mentality. Will we see this change almost create a culture of new business in dried fruits and nuts trading? I mean, because it was never like this before. Now we're seeing more and more suppliers.
It was always like this before.
Well, it was always up and down, wasn't it?
That's what we're supposed to be doing here. Is we're supposed to be adding
managing
information.
risk.
Well, what's information? Information is the reduction of uncertainty. That's how it's defined. So, for instance, somebody doesn't know what the price of Brazil nuts is going to be. If we sell them a contract and it's assumed that we will deliver, then what we do is give them some certainty going into the future.
How do you give them the certainty?
Well, because they know that they've got Brazil's bought a particular price for up to 9 months or a year.
Right, okay, so it's within that time frame.
So what we're doing there is we're reducing their uncertainty.
Right, okay.
At the moment, though, I suspect that there are a lot of people who are packing for the supermarkets who are packing contracts which they agreed, but maybe 3-4 months ago. But they haven't covered because they're already out of the money.
Right.
They're not going to make a profit on this. So if you're in a situation where you have to cover, but you're having to cover now at a loss, then you do what we're seeing now, which is a very small contract, enough to not go out of stock. Unfortunately, a lot of these nut markets have kept going up. And unfortunately, the euro is much weaker than it was at the start of the year. At the start of the year, we had about 123. In the end of last year, we had 133. Now we're down to 110. So that's 20% of an increase in cost. And almonds, for instance, have gone up about maybe 25-30% since the start of the year. So any contracts that were not covered in January, February are significant losses now, and so people don't feel like locking in a loss. And of course, that continues to work against them. So it's not a very good situation when people in the supply chain are losing money because there's a disincentive to put the stuff on the shelves, isn't there? So. Which results, presumably, in out of stocks and bad quality, and eventually
surplus stock.
Further accelerates the damage of demand.
Right.
So, I think this month of volatility is difficult because people, everybody's got a boat which is only so big. So, I think these prices are too high. That's what I think.
Right, okay. So it'd be interesting to hear your feedback and your opinions on this debate as it is, and feel free also to check out other sections of our website. You know, we have regular market reports up. If you go on each product section, you can see specifications, certification, information about the risks, processing, defects, and all that. And we're trying to make the website a lot more easy to access this kind of information, this important information, much of which is quality related. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon.